welcome to Unwind Cruise Information Night. Now, I know that we've started 30 seconds early. We like to just live on the edge like that. So while we get ourselves settled, I am Kate. If you don't know me, I'm Robin.
And I'm Bryony.
So Bryony is our travel agent for our cruises, which is exciting. Hi Melissa, hi Karen. We've already got a few people tuning in already, quite a few watchers already. So this evening we're going to be going over our cruises to so the first one is in November to New Zealand, and then we've got another one in January around South Australia. So the idea of tonight is to ask any questions you have or any concerns or anything that you want answered regarding the new travel restrictions, the new travel requirements. Things have obviously changed since cruising stopped a while ago, and people have some questions about safety and what new things they're doing to keep us all safe and happy on the ship. So Bryony's up with all of that and lots more. So really, there's people that are probably joining that they've already booked, and but whether are you excited to have you? Few already that are already booked on some of the cruises, and some that aren't already. So, which is fantastic. If you are new here and you don't, because there's a few people that haven't even been introduced to Unwind that have set themselves as being part of the event tonight. So welcome to Unwind. And hopefully you can all just pop in any questions that you might have, and we can answer those. But we will start with maybe just talking about our New Zealand cruise. And as you have any questions, just pop them in the comments. Kate's got an eye on those, and we can try and sort those out as we move forward. Yep. All right. So our first cruise, we leave Melbourne. So both of our cruises depart from Melbourne because that's easiest for me. Pretty much, one less block. Yeah, it's one less. We get amazing goodie bags. We give out amazing goodie bags on the cruises, and so in order to get that goodie bags up to the cruise, the big job. So we go out of Melbourne for convenience. So we depart Melbourne on the 4th of November, and we arrive back in Melbourne on the 17th of November. So that's a 13-night cruise to New Zealand with. How many ports have we got, Bryony? Oh, I'd have to count them. There's pretty. Oh, is it on there? Oh, yeah, it is indeed. 6 ports plus 1 day where we do sea cruising around the fjord. Oh, that is going to be amazing. We've already got our first question for the night. Can we take scissors on board? Because last time she cruised, they confiscated her scissors till the end of the cruise. That sounds odd to me because we always include scissors in our bag. So have you been smuggling it out?
Maybe. I can shift that one. I'm sure it's not a problem. Maybe you might need to put in your checked luggage rather than your carry-on.
Well, we push those on. Yeah. And I always have scissors in my knitting bag. So we had no issues with scissors on any of the previous cruise that we've done. With those gigantic, massive stabbings, there's nothing cool with an end. We've had no issues at all with scissors. They're part of our goodie bags. I think we may have even sold some on the cruises. I reckon we did. Yeah, none at all. So, but Bryony's going to double check just to make sure. Yeah. Any of the questions tonight that we don't know the specific answer for, or we'd like to get some extra clarification, Bryony's going to follow those up, and we'll have that information in our next regular live, which is next Thursday at 9:30. So if you've got a question, you can watch that back at any time, but we'll answer those rather than trying to get back in touch with lots of people. Yeah, we'll just answer all of those next Thursday. I reckon it was your scissors of choice, Nicole, just to be a little bit frank, because if you think about like small knitting scissors compared to hairdressing stabby shaped scissors, then I reckon that might have been the issue. Because she had the hairdressing scissors. But they like with the stabbing scissors. I mean, they make just regular tiny one. And why did you give yourself a haircut on the cruise? Well, she was running late. Yeah, it's just, that's not annoying to do. My little song with the chap. Now, so we are going to New Zealand, which is amazing. We do the scenic cruising in the Fjordens, which is just breathtaking. I've only seen small amounts of it, so I'm pumped about this. It's been like on my bucket list to do since I can remember. So I'm super excited about doing the scenic ones inside the fjord. So, which is great. As we travel around New Zealand, we will be going to yarn stores, which will be amazing. So we try to stop in at yarn stores, tee up a little bit of a discount, and just have a little bit of fun. And that is not included in any prices that you pay for your cruise. So this is, we generally like to take public transport because it's fun, and anything you purchase or any matters that you have when we are on shore is, pretty much at your own expense, because some people may choose to do one of the other some things to do that are offered on the ship. Some people choose to stay on the ship. Yeah, we have it's really personal, and we don't want you to feel obligated to do anything because you're part of the group. It's really about unwinding your own way. So, but there'll always be someone keen to do something if you're keen to do it as well. It's true, because Pam and Robin went to the fish museum, fish factory, and it was great. Beautiful. I don't know. It was a lovely out of it, but had a great time. Good weirdos. Now, so I'm not doing it. Regarding the day activities that they can book, how are they looking at the moment? Are they getting booked down, or?
Yeah, definitely. Look, anything that's got really limited numbers, so anything that's maybe, if you're going to be extravagant and go on a helicopter ride or a small plane, they're the first ones to go, because obviously they're very small numbers that they can take.
And Hobbiton always goes far.
Yeah.
That's already booked. I think it's already sold out. Yeah.
So make sure if you are someone that has already booked, or on your invoice, you've got all the information to go on Cruise Personalizer, and you can book your shore excursions through the Cruise Personalizer. Now, not to confuse you, but that's different to the app, which is part of your online check-in.
Right.
The Cruise Personalizer is on the internet.
Okay, so you had to go into the Princess site.
Yep, so you go to Princess. It'll ask for your booking number, which you'll have on your invoice. And if you can't find it, let me know. And it'll ask for your name and I think your date of birth. And that will log you in. And then there'll be a tab to book shore excursions. And you can see all the different offerings on at each of the ports. And you can choose which one, takes your fancy.
Oh, so you have to book a new one when you're after Robin. Yep.
Honest. It's the home of it's dreams for.
Yeah, I was quite keen to get to Hobbiton, but last time I looked, it was sold out. So, yeah. Well, you never know. But if you are ultimately keen to do something at one of the ports, don't feel like you have to wait and see whether we're doing something, because it's all about doing what you want to do. There'll be another yarn shop at the next destination. So just make sure if there's something you're really keen to do, get on that straight away. So you don't miss out. That's really important. Yeah. Because we'll be catching up at other times of the day. Yeah. And New Zealand has got some great yarn shops and stuff, so you won't miss out. And on the days that we're on the ship, there will be an unwind catch-up time each day in the afternoon. So it doesn't interfere with your lunch or dinner or any of the shows. It's usually around, 2 or 3 o'clock. And it'll be at a designated spot that you'll all find out about. But it's really just about bringing along a project that you can work on and chat at the same time, or might need a little bit of help with, because there's lots of other like-minded people. All about connecting through our creativity at that time. Yep. And just catching up on what everyone's been doing. There'll always be someone who's gone up and done something that others haven't, and they're all keen to hear about it. So it's just a really lovely way to connect with other people. There's always stories to be shared and skills to be shared. So it won't be drowned. That's right. Someone has to do it, And so, it just makes it a really fun way to connect. Yep. So Pam's wondering about insurance for the trip.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a lot of, I sell 2 different insurance companies, so I can compare. Both of them will cover you if you're ill or if you have, gosh forbid, but this is the important stuff with insurance. Sorry, big deal. But if you're ill on board or on shore, or if you're in an accident, it covers all your medical. And that'll include evacuation off the ship. So that can be very, very expensive. So it's important to get insurance.
Are you evacuated by hot New Zealand guys? Want to clarify?
Well, they're probably using
That's to know.
and the insurance policies do also cover you. The ones that are on sale at the moment do cover you if you were to catch COVID on board and you need to go to the doctors on board. And they also cover you, if not, this isn't going to happen to anyone, but if you got COVID before the trip, they're in limited cover to get some money back if you have to cancel, say, the day before because you get COVID. So the policies are always changing. So definitely if you've got specific questions, reach out by phone or email and I can talk you through the product.
So for medical things in New Zealand, like I know for myself and my family, because we're all New Zealand citizens, we are automatically covered for anything that happens there. So although we will most likely get insurance, like we won't necessarily need it when we're in New Zealand.
Yep.
What's the deal with Australians? Like, do you know if they're charged?
So Australians do have, I can't even say that word, reciprocal rights to New Zealand health, but it's not any benefit when you're doing the cruise because you're still paying coverage when you're on the ship.
Yep.
So that when you're on the ship, you're not covered under Medicare or private health or ambulance. There's no coverage at all. It's all private.
Yeah.
So that's why even if you do have, say, New Zealand or Australian citizenship, if you fell over on the shore, yes, you could go to a hospital, but it won't cover anything on the ship.
Yeah. Okay. Clarification. That's a good question. Now, Pat is wanting to know if we're going to need to be taking COVID tests to get on board.
Great question. So they haven't released exactly the restrictions for the New Zealand cruise. So all the information I have is based on the Australian departures that are sort of happening between now and November. So I can tell you what they're doing for those departures. It might be slightly different. But with those departures, you can take either a PCR test within 72 hours of embarkation, or you can do a rapid RAT test within 24 hours of embarkation. And you just need to attest that you've done that and you've tested negative. So you don't need to pay for an expensive $100 or $200 travel PCR. You can go to a drive-through or do a RAT test. And part of the online check-in is just disclosing that, yes, I've done that. And yes, the result was negative. So very easy compared to, what we were looking at.
What, you don't even have to show them?
No, it's, I believe it's it's a legal document.
So I can just go and say I've done it, even though I haven't. And then
Well,
I think no, I wonder it's like we'll do a test. But that's what I'm saying.
it's a legal document.
I feel like that's happening all over the world now because I was looking at other travel destinations and it runs under the same system. I think that the world's approaching it differently now that most of the population are vaccinated. So it's a lot less restrictive as than it was before. So that makes it easy to manage.
And I guess following on from that point, you do need to be vaccinated to get on the ship. So that's another thing. So what Princess at the moment are deeming vaccinated is you need to have had at least 2 doses, and both doses need to have happened at least 2 weeks before you get on board. So if you've already had 2 doses now, you're fine. If you haven't, you just need to have 2 doses at least 14 days before you get on board. And they are recommending boosters for anyone that's eligible. So not compulsory, but recommending boosters.
So you won't get kicked off if you haven't had a booster.
No, not based on the current restriction.
Yeah.
We'll communicate, obviously, with everyone that has booked as we get closer.
And Heather's just jumped in to say that you can pick up free RAT tests at your standard general drive-through. So you don't need to pay for those. You can just get them at your drive-through centres. That is all so far. What else did we want to cover about?
Well, I guess I'll just finish off on the sort of protocol. So all the crew need to be vaccinated in line with the restrictions for the US Centre of Disease Control. So all the staff on board will be vaccinated. Another question people may or may not ask or be thinking about is masks. So at the moment, based on the Australian season that's happening soon, masks are required during embarkation, disembarkation, when you're on the water shuttles. So sometimes the boat can't pull up right next to the port, so you get on the little tender. So when you're on the little tenders, you need to have a mask. And in public areas on board where social distancing is not possible. So the main one that I'm thinking of is likely going to be the theatre for your shows in the evening. So you'll have to wear a mask most likely in the shows. And obviously if you want to wear it more, go for your life. But that's what's required at the moment.
So do they have, can it be a fabric mask or does it have to be a blah, blah, 95 mask?
I believe it's a 2-layer. So I think it'll be fine. I'll write that on my questions list.
Yeah, because I know that a lot of our customers wear the fabric mask.
Yeah, they're much prettier.
And so much prettier. So we'll have an answer for that one in live next Thursday.
Has anyone crocheted masks yet? Or
We have seen a couple of crochet. We have. I had one.
did you get one there?
Someone had a crochet mask. I had a feeling it was hand. I could be totally wrong. Okay, what else have we got? Anything there or any other questions? What else have they done to for our security, for our health and stuff like that? Obviously there's going to be more weedy stuff called? Yeah, more sanitizing. But like, I'm thinking the disembarkment privates,
Yeah.
that's obviously quite squishy at times.
Yes.
And I know that we're going to be wearing a mask, but
Yeah.
that's quite tight.
Excellent question. So what's going to happen with embarkation and disembarkation is let's talk about embarkation. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
That's boarding.
Boarding. Yes. Sorry, using my cruise lingo. You went with the app. Now the app is called the Medallion Class app, and that's where you're going to check in online. Now you will actually select a slot for when you're going to board. So if boarding, for example, opens at 12, they don't want everyone on the ship coming at 12, so they will be staggered. So you will have to arrive at your time that you're specified on the app. So then it's spread out, and once they reach X number of people for a 12 o'clock slot, it closes off.
What if I'm running late?
If you're running late, they'll still let you on board, I promise. They'll just sort of put you through to the herd you and wait till the next debate. So that won't be a problem. With disembarkation, I imagine it will be a similar process, but you won't get to choose. They usually do it based on whether you've got a flight to catch or to catch, or if you're getting
And then like the safety points and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, so the muster, that's a very good. So for those that have been on board, the drainer of getting on a cruise used to be, you're all excited, going down the gangway, you want to get a cocktail, and they say, no, I'm going to come to this meeting. It's very boring.
Yeah, and you get to show off your captain's go to the captain's office. Letters.
It was someone got his hands.
Robin wagged. She got a letter saying that she had been smuggling alcoholic beverages on board, which she had. And then she had to go to the captain's office to do like a little check. And she didn't. She just brought the wine to my room. Every time I was getting off the ship, I'm like, oh God, they're going to tap me on the shoulder. I just didn't touch the wine, took it off the ship. It was because Kate said, put it in my room. We did it. It's one thing. But anyway, it was all good. Went off the ship and went back off the ship. It didn't get drunk.
So the best thing about the muster, no longer do you have to go to the muster station and wait for the last person to arrive.
Speaking of, the last something that didn't we?
Yeah. So great news now is you can watch a quick little video. So the safety video and the safety protocol, which is important.
Yeah.
So you watch a video in your own time. You can either watch it on your app or you can watch it in your cabin stateroom.
You have to tick that you've watched it or something.
And then you have to report to your muster station and just say, I know where you're at. This is me. They tick you off and you're free. Don't worry. It's a very quick process. No gathering. So you're not going to have a big group of people. And you're not going to waste that hour on the first day of your cruise when you're excited.
Yeah, and a much better way of doing it. I feel like a lot of these changes are going to be better.
should have been implemented before boundaries have changed.
You've got to different. Something good's come out of it. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty happy about that. What else have we got? Anyone else got any other questions they might be thinking about? I don't feel like there's a stupid question. Is it?
Oh, in terms of the sanitizing, anyone that's spoken to me has probably heard this spiel, so apologies. But the thing that people don't realize is cruise ships have been dealing with infectious diseases forever. So they've obviously had to manage the norovirus, which is gastro. They're so well equipped to deal with infectious diseases because they've already had training. So everything has just been amped up. So things like you might not realize, but say every hour, they're actually sanitizing the rails on the stairs. So there's so much that happens behind the scenes in terms of sanitizing. It goes much beyond just, take a pump before you go into the dinner. It's happening all over the ship all the time.
And yeah, it's very obviously quite important now. So very vigilant, I'm sure. I feel quite safe about it.
Well, the other thing a lot of people don't realize in Australia, so cruising's about to resume in Australia, I think next month. But what people don't realize is worldwide, cruises have been operating since December 2020. And 2020. So the first cruises started happening in Singapore, and they just got on the ship and did a loop to nowhere and came back. So since the pandemic, I haven't got the most recent numbers. Last I heard was about 10 million people have cruised. So although to us it feels a bit new and, it feels new and unsure, it's normal for the rest of the world. We've just been the slowest to reinstate cruising. So know that all those teething issues or anything that, they've sort of had to figure their way around, they've done that all over the world and learned the best ways forward. So we're great because we get to hit the ground running with the best processes and the best protocol.
And we'll be very highly vaccinated too. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like we're not having major dramas anywhere else. I feel like we're going to be doing really well there. Yeah, it's awesome. That's reassuring. And what about barbecues and stuff like that? Wait for your drinks. Now,
someone needs to remember you.
Just say, right, I'm wanting to get my giant fish cocktail. Am I going to have to queue up next to every other Tom, Dick and Harry? What's the deal with that?
Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Bring it.
No more queuing for bars. No more queuing for drinks. You can order a drink on the medallion app on your phone from anywhere in the ship. And because it has a GPS, so I'll show you what the medallion looks like in a sec, but because it has a GPS, I can sit here and order a drink now, and then Robin says, let's go to another bar. The drink will follow me to the other bar because they know where I am.
Getting out.
So it is like a game changer. There is no queuing. You can order any drink anywhere on the ship.
I can still get my gigantic fish cup.
You can, and it will come to you now.
Does that mean the captain would be able to find me if I... It's Roger.
But you don't need to bring alcohol on board this time because you've got the drinks package and you can order till the cows come home. You've got all your drinks included.
Well, the packages have been unbelievable on this one. And are there any special deals or anything at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. So hang on, before we talk about the special deals.
So with the GPS tracking, right, does that mean like, because I'm bringing my children on board, or I know that some people are traveling with friends.
Yeah.
Because we're in the same room, does that mean that we're automatically going to be connected on the medallion app? So like, if I can't find my children, I can look at that and find them.
Correct. So you can follow the people in your cabin. So if if you go for a wander and say to someone, I'll meet you at 3 and they don't show up, you can see, oh, they're at that bar having a drink and go and join them. So it's a great system.
It's going to be so comforting for me with a 9-year-old who likes water.
And people with husbands or, so if you've got a non-unwind person coming with you, they can see where you are,
Yeah, and obviously you have control of who can see you and all that.
Yeah.
So I can put Robin on and she can see.
Oh, really? So, yeah, you can add people, I think, with their permission from other cats. So,
Can I block my husband? And that's not I'm being out to the children.
I believe you can block everyone but your children. So you have to be responsible.
But I can block my husband.
I think
So that he can't find me I am.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, Ollie.
But yeah, the drinks package. So for anyone that hasn't booked or inquired, Princess have different fares. So what's included, if you've seen this beautiful little flyer, included in the price is your drinks package. So that's your alcoholic beverages, your non-alcoholic beverages, so water, soft drink, proper cappuccinos, and then cocktails, wines. There are limits, but then for most people, they're fine. It's just not your high-end labels.
Yeah.
So that's included, as well as your internet package. So you've got unlimited internet on one device per person. So each person in the cabin has one device with upward.
Really?
Yep.
So does each person in the room get a drinks? So my kids were there and drinks one.
No.
Is it not an alcoholic drink?
No, if you've got two people, it gets a bit more complicated with 3 and 4 people in the cabin. But if there's just 2 in the cabin, you both
Yes. All right.
So great value. So really, when you think about it, it's your accommodation, your transport, if you're not having to fly to New Zealand, all of your meals, and I'm sure you can attest as an like delicious, so much. It's amazing. I have a friend that's a chocoholic, and we went on a cruise,
And they had chocolate fountains.
yes, and we went on a cruise, and at dinner we had the same waiter every night, and at dinner he knew she was a chocoholic, so he'd say, Miss Ange, which non-chocolate dessert do you want tonight? Because he would know she would want the chocolate one, and then she would get a second one. Because she had to try the non-chocolate, but she had to have the chocolate one. So really, there is nothing you can't do when it comes to food. They just want you to be happy and well fed.
I love cruising. We still love our little afternoon tea, don't we? Yeah, we have a little afternoon tea time.
Yep.
Go out and have scones and they. Yeah, and the mac and tea and then silver tea pots. That was my latest my period. Yeah, when I was third grade. So is there any other benefits with the medallion? So now what it is.
Let me show you. Can you? So there's lots of different ways. Think about it like a 20-cent coin. That's about the size it is. So you can either, the top picture, he's wearing it, it was before I shaved actually.
Yeah.
He's wearing it as a necklace. And then you can do it as the one next to it, like a sports clip. You put on your belt or your pockets. Then you've got down below. So most people that have cruised are used to a cruise card. Yeah. So you put it in the cruise card, is that option. And then the fourth one is wearing it like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch.
Oh, yeah.
So the medallion is included in your cruise bed. Now, with Australians, we're going to pick it up at the port when we get to the port to embark.
Yeah.
And what included as standard, I believe, is they can give you this little watch band. Little card.
Yeah.
I think the lanyard you still pay for. But when you're checking in online through the Medallion app, it actually says, would you like to upgrade? And you can pre-purchase the necklace or the sports thing. I mean,
That's so brilliant.
so if you're someone that doesn't want to wear the lanyard, when you check in, you can say yes and can purchase for, $10 or something, the watch band.
What are they kids size wristbands that people are skinny out?
I'm sure they'll have kids, not that I
got skinny out.
but they are also waterproof, chlorine proof, so you can literally swim with them, just wet with them, whatever. Yeah. So, and then your souvenir to keep. So,
I like the cruise cards.
yeah, if you lose it on board, they'll replace it too. So I don't know how you're living it, but if you do a zero cost on if you lose it on board, once and leave it free to me to replace. Yeah.
Nothing.
So the medallion is obviously going to be the biggest game changer. The other thing it does is when you approach your cabin, no longer do you have to swipe. So if you get hands full of cocktails or yarn or with your latest project, we just busting to go to you, as you approach, it just senses you and it says, "Welcome home, Bryony," and the door will be open. You just have to literally go, "Mother, don't you love that?" Yeah.
I remember that we spend outside each other's rooms trying to find the card.
And if you've had too many cocktails, you don't need to worry about trying to swipe it to get out of
the karaoke, but I've got to do it. I love that. I love those changes. I think the medallion is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's going to make my life so much easier.
The other thing for those people that are a little bit fancy pants, if you have a status with Captain Circle, so if you want gold or ruby,
Well, that pet, right? Then you
elite, they will adjust the color of your medallion
special one
to match. So remember, on your cards, you'd have a red card or a blue card. So same thing, your medallion will be the color of your status. Yeah. So if you're gold, it'll be gold.
That's one.
If you're hunted, it'll be silver. So yeah, so that's the people that have status. You'll still be recognized by the staff as you walk around as a platinum or elite.
Nice. I love that. It's awesome. Great changes.
Yep. Can't take credit for it, but I agree.
I'm so excited about the medallion that I've been like quite nervous about going on there with my children and the room cards because I don't want them to be able to not go back to the room or not be able to open the door, even though they won't go back to the room on their own. I want them to feel like they're cruising as well. So, but just being able to know where they are. Like, obviously, you keep tabs on that, but, sure, I'll hear them. It's just nice to have that extra backup as well, because the ship's a pretty big place, and there's lots of places they could be. Oh, honestly, just knowing where you are is going to be like, the amount of times we've been wandering around, literally we get lost. I'll be like, Kate, I don't have no clue where I am. It's going for a reason.
But funny you say that. It's almost like you're planting these for me. So on the app, I believe it also has an interactive map. So you can see where you are and where you're going and get direction, I believe.
We estimated just. I was just there, just so good. They literally just read the end of it. Oh, God, where am I? Yeah, they must have been listening in my cabin last time. We lost the gig.
Now, they had secret market research speakers going.
It's just a way of trying to tell the truth. Pretty happy about that. Awesome. Now, do we have any other questions? Just looking at, let's just make sure that we've covered all our questions. Let's talk about numbers for the New Zealand one before we go on to talk about the Australian one. What are the numbers looking like at the moment? Are there any balconies?
Yeah,
houses.
No houses on board.
Clearly they're going to need to get in.
Yes,
the deposit.
So with the New Zealand cruise, the super exciting thing is that we have no idea when we organised this, but the New Zealand cruise is actually the first cruise out of Melbourne for the last, 2.5, by that stage, it'll be over 2.5 years. So it is going to be huge. I can tell you, like non-Unwind clients, everyone wants to get on this cruise because they want to be part of the first cruise back, the excitement. There's going to be such a buzz on board. And you know how lovely the staff are on board, genuinely. Imagine them, they've gone without work for 2.5 years. They're going to be so happy to be back, on board, making sure everyone has a great time. So the buzz is going to be incredible. So the cruise is already it's not full, but it's so close to full, getting full. So at the moment, the balcony cabins and the mini suite are already sold out. Now, what I would say to people is if you did want a balcony, if you're still willing to go on the cruise, if it's an ocean view, so that's a cabin with a window, book the ocean view and I can waitlist you for a balcony. But you need to be prepared as a worst case that you would be in the ocean view. But we can waitlist a balcony. I don't think that it won't ever happen. I'm not saying it will, but things do, people change. People change their minds. People get sick. There's lots of reasons why cupboards become available. So contact me and we can waitlist. We can book you at the inside and waitlist you on the balcony. Other option is if you said, no, absolutely will not go on the cruise unless it's a balcony, we can still just waitlist you a balcony cabin. And if one becomes available, I call you and say, do you still want it? Yes, great. Pay and you're there.
Yeah.
But I guess with that option, you need to be prepared that you might not go at all.
Yeah.
So you can choose what suits you best. But there are some options there. But then I've got quite a few inside cabins. So they're the cabins without the windows.
Yep.
And then I've got cabins with an obstructed view, which means it's not a window, but there might be a lifeboat in front of it. And I've got cabins with a window with nothing in front of it.
Yeah.
So there's a few different cabin options for you. And we can also do single cabins, twin cabins, triple cabins, and quad share, which is 4 people.
Yes. Brilliant. So the so I had an obstructed balcony.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Last one, and it was fine.
Yeah.
It was totally fine. So I don't think the obstructed ones are that bad. Not really.
Yeah. There's on this ship, the good thing is there's no obstructed balconies on the ship, but just the obstructed windows.
Yeah.
But just to get a little bit of light in, if you are someone that likes the natural light, and they're not that much more expensive than an ocean view, than an inside. So for a couple of $100, you can get that.
Yeah, it's really fun. I like it. And with the cabins, we're really only in them anyway, for sleeping. Yeah. So only as places to hang out on the ship, and unless you get claustrophobic, then you'd be fine. My first cruise I didn't have a balcony or a window. Yeah, no, it's fine. We literally went to our cabin to sleep. So it wasn't a big deal at all. But, everyone has different requirements for that, and we always will try and make that the best we can for you. But obviously making contact with Bryony sooner rather than later is a better chances of getting what you're looking for. So the key is always, make your inquiry straight away. And you can do that going to our website, to the Unwind at Sea, and just hitting the button, which will send an inquiry to Bryony, and she'll get back to you in due course. So the inquiry, guys, is not going to submit you into anything, and just letting Bryony know that you are interested, you want to know some prices, you might have a few questions, and then she's going to chase you up. It's nothing that locks you in. So it's better to be able to express interest, have any of your questions answered, so that you can go from there. So, and Bryony's been amazing so far, has rang about some great deals. So I did believe there was a really good special on at the moment.
Yeah, so at the moment, it's a very short duration special, but at the moment, they've got reduced deposit. So usually your deposit is anything up to 20 or 25% of the cruise. At the moment, the deposit is only $450 per person.
But that is 450.
450, sorry, yeah, per person. Only until Monday, though.
Yeah.
So you need to book and deposit by Monday.
Yeah.
So get in touch with me, fill out that form tonight. I'll give you a buzz tomorrow or Sunday. I'm happy to work this weekend to get as many people on this great deal. And then for the New Zealand cruise, you don't have to make the final payment until July, end of July. Sorry, lose my voice. You've got about 2 months to pay it off.
Yeah, brilliant.
You can either pay it all in one hit, or for people that want to sort of, if it helps with budgeting, I don't care if you pay once a week, you pay $100. If that helps you, you can do payments.
Great.
Yeah. And then if you're looking at the January cruise, which we haven't talked about yet, but final payment's not due till the end of September.
Oh, well,
Not quite a long time for that one, but yeah.
So we're on the Princess for this one, aren't we? Pat's just wanting to know what PowerPoint on board. So are they the American PowerPoints? I think the London so American.
Yeah, let me double check that out.
They do. If you just ask your concierge, like is it that was called the concierge? Marie?
Yep.
If they think they do have limited supplies on board to lend you one if you want. So, but yeah, it is always handy to that just to be universal plug, and they change to all different ones. And yeah, you can get those now. They're quite cheap. They're not expensive. It's always good to have one in your in your travel things anyway. But yes, they definitely do have some to help people out that don't have them as well. And I think you can even purchase them on board in some of the gift shops as well. So you're always going to be covered one way or the other. But we will find out. So if you'd like to repair that earlier and get that before you board, we'll find out what that would be for you.
Yep.
I think the most important question on everyone's lips is, are they still making animals with your towels?
Oh, I believe so. Maybe they're making two now because they've missed doing it so much. And now
Got a whole zoo on it.
that's one of the monkey with the sunblock. Has anyone seen the sunblock? And they're like, leave your glasses around. Oh, we can't get up on the
Literally do
how edible.
Oh, I
That can't be really obvious. Like, what would be best does it take to make that film?
I actually left my sunglasses behind on our last cruise, and they were so amazing. They contacted me and said, or did they contact you? Not contact, yeah, and said, you left your sunglasses, and Robin's like, no, I reckon they're Kate's, and I was like, yeah, they're mine, and they sent them to it. It was so amazing. Yeah, we're pretty happy about that. Right, so let's move on so that's the New Zealand cruise, which is going to be amazing. Hot boys, good food, great yarns, beautiful scenery, wonderful goodie bags, which I'm starting to get excited about, which I'll be in full New Zealand cruise preparation in 2 weeks once the caravan weekend's over. I've already earmarked a few things in the order for the bag, so I'm super excited. I love it.
It's Christmas shopping at ESL.
Yeah. And it just, stupidly, I'm just as excited to open my even though I know what's in them. I can't wait to open that. People on the ship, when they see us lining all up these bags, they're like, God, what are they getting? Yeah. So just on that note, anyone that is coming in on the November one, you will start getting some information from us in about a month's time. Just regarding what yarn shops we are going to look at going, asking you if you've got any yarn shops that you might want to go to while we're there, and just letting you know where we're going to be meeting on the embarkment day, etc., etc. So sit tight for that, and that will start coming out in a month's time once I'm over the caravan weekend. Right, so that's New Zealand. January, we're again on the same boat.
It is. Yeah.
It is the same boat, so that'll be good. You will know your way around, which will be great. You can solo. I'll still need the adjustment. So I'm guessing then a lot of the things will be the same.
Yep. All the restrictions as they stand, they may change by January. So for this for us to more flexible.
Because when we're just going around Australia in this one, do you think it's going to be lighter restrictions, or because we're not going international?
Potentially, because New Zealand's obviously just starting to open up. So the restrictions for New Zealand might be a bit more that they be by Jan. And there's a few months later as well. So yeah, I'm speculating, but I hope so.
Just to quickly jump back to the New Zealand one, because I know a lot of people haven't been to New Zealand. Passports.
Yeah, but yeah, yes, absolutely. Now, very good point actually. With passport, the passport office is swamped. They're drowning, or they're on holidays, or something.
They're drowning.
Passports. They say if you go to the post office, they might say 6 weeks. It's not 6 weeks from what I'm hearing. I'm hearing sort of 12 weeks.
So we need 3 months for New Zealand passports at the moment, because I was going to apply for one for Ollie.
Yeah, well, it's 3 months, I would say, for Australians. So anyone that is booked on the New Zealand cruise, do it right now. We won't go to BC. Walk away for 1 minute. Check your filing cabinet. It needs to have 6 months from the date you get home. So that cruise returns on the 17th of November. So your passport needs to be valid until the 17th of May, 2023. If it's not valid until then, apply tomorrow. The other thing with the passports, this is just sort of put a rock in a pin one and then audit it out. Once you put it in, if they are just the passport officer behind and it's not getting done and you're departing in 3 days, you can't pay a fee to get it done quicker. You can only pay a fee to get it done quicker when it's launched. So that's the reason. Do it now because you don't want to get to a situation where it's a week out or 2 weeks out and you don't know if it's going to come in time.
So with the 6 months, is that for international? Because for all of my family hold New Zealand passports. Yeah, it's 6 months to everyone on our passports as well to come back into Australia. You'd want to just, because there are one or two other Kiwis coming.
Yeah, I would say you definitely want at least a 6 months.
Yeah, well, pretty much across the board, whenever you travel overseas, that you need 6 months validity from the date you return. So you just want to make sure you've got that just to be safe with any travel.
Yeah.
And so we will be filling out forms and stuff like that, won't we? When we arrive into New Zealand, we'll have to fill out a entry card and then an exit card.
Yeah, potentially Australia's starting to get rid of those. I'm not sure if New Zealand is as well, but yeah, be prepared. Form, and they'll be great on board. They'll tell you how to fill it out. They'll
So it'll be very similar to the ones that you fill out if you go on a plane. So that'd be good. Right. January, we are heading around South Australia. This is a 6-night cruise on board the Grand Princess again, and we sail out of Melbourne on the 3rd of January and we return on the 9th of January. Now, this was one of the last cruises we did, and where Ron and Pam went to the fish market, and we had a blast. I can't actually speak highly enough about this cruise. When we did the cruise, Kangaroo Island was on fire, so we couldn't go to Kangaroo Island, but then, was it Port Lincoln? Yes, yeah, with Port Lincoln. Yeah, and actually organised like a shindig to entertain us, because we had to stay overnight there. So, and it was amazing. I can't read it on the market, on the show, and activity. It was really great. It was so welcoming. And they had a welcoming crew there, really wonderful. It was so good. So this one will be going from Melbourne to Kangaroo Island, then to Adelaide, and then to Port Lincoln. When does it go to Phillip Island? I think that's our last stop. Phillip Island's do we go that way? Yeah. Okay. So that's all wrong. We go from Melbourne to Phillip Island, then to Port Lincoln. Yeah, it's an Adelaide. The arrows are going. Which way are they doing? Yeah, going that way. Yes, way. So we're going Phillip Island, Port Lincoln, Adelaide, Kangaroo Island, and then back to Melbourne. Yep. So I'm really looking forward to getting to see Kangaroo Island. We were a bit disappointed out of time, but it was made up for at Port Lincoln because they were so welcoming and so good. It was a really nice destination.
And yet, for anyone that's animal crazy, Kangaroo Island, there's some great shore excursions that take you to see the seals, and the seals are just everywhere. They're in the middle of the just like,
it's Steffi.
So it's a really big port for doing your wildlife lifestyle.
Because there probably won't be any yarn shops at Kangaroo Island, so that'd be the perfect time to do that. Yeah. So there are some great yarn stops on this. In Adelaide, we've already been contacted by them today, and we're super excited to be going back to them. We will be going in to see Yarn Trader again. They actually opened up specifically for us last time, had a big welcome Unwind. It's fine, and were giving us discounts and stuff, and it was just amazing. Right. We got out there on the local bus, which was just right outside the port, and then we stopped at a pub for dinner or lunch or something, and we had a blast. And we've got, quite a few people stayed on the boat that day as well. Yeah, they stayed on the boat. Some did other things. Yeah, everyone used to do what they want to do, but always something great going on. That was great. And again, that's where a drinks package. And so they've still been offered the drinks packages and that for that cruise.
Yep. The drinks are all included on that cruise with the Unwind pricing, and as well as the Wi-Fi is included. And if you really want a balcony, that's the cruise to go, because we can get balconies at the moment, but they are going to sell out really fast.
Yep. So what is the numbers looking like for that ship at the moment?
So it's getting really busy. It's not as full as the November one. But because it's school holidays, it's that time where everyone's got leave, it's going to be really popular, and it will be.
Yeah. I think this is, if you hadn't cruised before and you're thinking about it and you don't want to commit to 13 days, this is a great amount of time. It's 6 days, a perfect amount of time to get jasmine a bit and still feel like legitimately. That's when the girls learn line dancing, we play for time, yeah, all or something. It's amazing.
There's only 2 days at sea as well with that one. So you're not on the ship all the time. So if you're worrying about seasickness, you're not doing 4 days at sea. You can just sort of, you've got 2 days. There's a great sea. Yeah, test on it. It's a perfect test.
So with the seasickness in mind, if I was prone to getting seasick and I said, yeah, I'm really interested, I'm prone to getting seasick,
Yep.
are you going to be able to book me into the best place that you think is available for
Absolutely. So the best place for people that are worried about seasickness is midship and in the middle of the ship. So you want a cabin that's not towards the front, not towards the back, in the middle and in the middle of the ship. So not right at the top, not right at the bottom. So
Yeah.
bang in the middle.
Yeah.
They are also the cabins that sell out first. You gain more reason to book as soon as possible. With the Unwind cruise, most of the included price on the brochures for anyone that's seen that is usually towards the back of the ship. And I always say to people, unless you're really worried, the back is not so bad. If you imagine this is the ship and this is the front and this is the back, if the front, if the front is hitting waves, the front is moving more than the back. So the best place is the middle, then towards the back, then right at the front.
Yeah.
And the cabins at the front, if you wait to book and think, oh, I can promise you the last cabins to settle at the right to the front. There's no one wants them because they move the most. So just book early is the next bitch. So it's your cabin in the front.
Like getting rocked to sleep. It's really well.
And then you come slow when you're like,
yeah, let's not. Yeah. Well, you do, after being on the boat, you do feel a little bit wobbly after you get off, but it ends very quickly. And, yeah.
I do say to people, bring on board a packet of travel carb or whatever brand you like.
So those little fans that you get, all the
Fans, yeah. So bring a couple of things like that. Just take, I've cruised lots and lots, but I tanked them the first couple of days just till my body settles down and works out, okay, you're on a ship.
Yeah.
And I say to people that first morning is often the worst when you wake up and your body doesn't quite know what's happening. So I say, wake up really early the first morning, pop a pill and go back to sleep. But if for anyone that is really worried, the absolute worst case scenario I've had with a guest is if they felt sick still 3 or 4 days in, don't just put up with it. Go, I hate cruising. You can actually go, it doesn't sound very pleasant, but you can go to the onboard doctor and get an injection in your bottom. And everyone I know that had the injection, has been fine.
Well, we've seen the neck for pouring in the last one. Usually this is
Oh, yeah. So you're better to do that than have the rest of the whole day. It's worth that little bit of expense.
And thank you. And most of our guests have had near problem at all, but we're all different. So it's nice to know what we can do. And maybe that little preventative might just ease you onto ship life if you haven't traveled on a cruise before. So it's better to take it unnecessarily than feel.
Absolutely. I would say, because by the time you feel crook, it's going to be a while for it to keep you. So just take it. Happy to take it.
So I'm going to ask some really what might seem like dumb questions to people that have cruised before, but I'm going to ask them anyway because I know that these are the questions I wanted answered before I did my first cruise. I get on board and we're going to be greeted with a little folder of information about what's where, how to work the telephone, do I get charged with the telephone, that kind of thing like you do when you come to an apartment.
Yeah, great.
Or a hotel room.
So they used to have exactly like a hotel room, a folder with all the information. Now, I don't know with COVID and the touching, I don't know if they've gotten rid of those and replaced them. That pretty much everything you want to know should be in the app.
But brilliant.
And that's even better because you can read all about it before you get on board. So if I use a phone, it's going to cost me this much, rather than using the phone and then going, oh, I found this hotel book and it says the phone's going to cost me $10 a second. So you can actually learn everything you want to learn before you get on board. Yeah. And the app has so much information. And then you've also got the Princess website. They've got great little sections called facts And that's going to have so many questions like, what currency is it on board? So that's one people will probably ask.
Yes, that's the same. There you go, take cash on board.
Yeah, so onboard currency in terms of things you buy on board for both cruises is Australian dollars.
Yeah.
Great. No conversion fees, none of that. So what you do with onboard, so this, we didn't even talk about this, your medallion is also, think of it like the credit card or a debit card. So if you went to the shops and you bought a perfume, instead of getting cash or getting your card out, you get your little medallion and you just tap it.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of how the cash situation works, most people will upload, or not upload, but provide their credit card details to Princess when they're doing their online check-in.
Yeah.
What Princess do, so then throughout the cruise, at any time, you can log onto the app and say, oh, I've spent $100, or, I've just and then they'll also give you a bill the night before you get off that says, okay, this is your whole bill. We're going to debit this tomorrow.
Okay.
And then obviously you've got opportunity. If you're looking at your app at any time, you see there's a charge and you think, oh, that wasn't me. You can go to the person and have a chat to them and say, here's the receipt or here. And just, so you can check it at any time. If you don't have a credit card or if you don't like the idea of doing it that way, you can bring cash on board. You go to the purser's office and you give them and you say,
The purser's office is like the information desk.
think of it like a bank.
Okay.
So you go to the bank and you say, here's $500, put it on my card. And then when that 500 runs out, when you go to buy that extra bottle of perfume or drink, they'll say, oh, and then you'll have to go and get more cash and give it to them.
Okay, great.
But certainly most people, credit card's easy, but if you like, the option there for cash.
Yeah. Okay, so there's no cash randoms on board unless you're going to the purser to deposit that money into your card. So we're thinking of it like a prepaid credit card in that instance, or just that it's going to be linked to your account. So there's no bill to pay at the end. They'll just automatically take that out. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this has actually happened to me, and I was unsure when I went on the boat. Yeah, something random like that happened to me while I was cruising, whether or not I was going to be able to get anybody. I've been in a hotel once when I met up with Ollie and the kids. We drove up to Sydney and I went out to get to the supermarket, and while I was away, Ollie had the Lila, who was 2, jump on the bed so much she vomited everywhere through the bedding, and then he just wiped it up. So then when I popped into bed, the sheet was wet and I had to call room service and dodgily ask them for new sheets on our bed. So there's room service and stuff like that on boats. It's room service the same as like in a hotel. It's 24 hours. You're going to be able to come and clean up the vomit bed.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's no problem with that. But they're probably thinking of everything. So basically your room will be serviced every day unless you put a thing out saying do not service. They'll often do a turn down with your chocolate on your pillow. There's absolutely it. With tail edibles, yes. Then, if you need something, if you need an extra pillow or, things like that, you could call them. In terms of room service, like if you're an introvert and you're like, oh, just too many people, I just need to decompress, you can have room service to your room. I think there's a nominal charge. You don't pay for the food. You just pay like a $5 fee for the delivery.
Oh, maybe
you can actually order food via the app again. Don't have to pick up the phone. Some young people are making it on the phone.
Yeah, I need to bring ice cream at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll come to your room. So
it takes to
it's like a hotel experience. Very well.
Brilliant. So just think of any kind of hotel that you've been to. It's going to be similar to that. So they'll have washing services or something like that.
Yeah, so especially for the New Zealand cruise where it's 14 nights, so you can pay for laundry on board. You pay per item. The better way to do it, if you're happy to do it, is they've actually got laundromat on self-service laundries on board, where you might pay $1 for a wash and $1 for a dry.
Oh, good.
And there's quite a few. There's not just one for the whole ship. There's one every couple of levels. So you can go and do your own washing, which is such a big way to say it's 2 weeks worth of clothes isn't too much.
Ain't that long, so yeah, it'll be a bit different. Like, because I know on the Adelaide one, I only packed a handful of things, and I just packed some soap pad and washed my undies in the shower while I was showering, and then they had like a little clothesline over the bathroom.
Yeah,
So just, squeezed out. And I was thinking about the poor guy that had to clean my bathroom, seeing my job thing.
yeah, she's always seen it before.
Yeah, awesome. And eating. What's the deal with the eating? Is all food included in all restaurants, or are there some restaurants that are going to cost us money? We need to book. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, excellent. So with the dining, the new thing is called Dine My Way. So there's no, if you've been on a cruise previously, you had like a 5:30 dining or a 7 o'clock, and be there on time. Now, none of that. So it's flexible dining, so you can dine whenever you like, with whoever you like, in whatever restaurant you like. So that's really great. So there might be nights where Unwind says, let's all come at 7 o'clock and come if you like, and if you don't like, and we'll all be there. But there might be other nights where you just want to go and have a meal on your own.
Yeah.
So in terms of food, your breakfast, lunch, dinner is included, your afternoon tea. The only thing is there's specialty restaurants. So these are restaurants that are extra good. So, your normal dinner.
Ceremony is great.
Yeah, your normal dinner is amazing. It's usually like 3 to 5 courses. But this is just that extra goodness food. So they don't charge you for what they sort of do is they say, well, she's technically paid for this normal dinner. So you just pay a little bit more for the bed.
Really? I thought you were paid for the whole dinner.
No, so it's just a nominal charge. So on the ship, there's, I believe, a steak restaurant, and there's also an Italian restaurant. And many of these I've eaten on both of other princess ships. So they're usually about between $25 and $40 extra. So if you want to treat yourself, if you've got a birthday or an anniversary,
and that'll be charged back to your room.
Yeah, charged to your account. It is good to book those ones. And some people, depending on when you booked, there has been some promotions throughout, because we've been selling this cruise, obviously. This is not a new, we've been working since October last year. Literally, it's not even. Some people actually, as part of the package, haven't included dinner. Which is good. The specials at the moment don't have that, but you can pay on board.
Yeah. So if you pre-book those before the cruise leaves, or if it's my birthday on one of those dates, I want to go to a special dinner.
Yeah, that's possible. I'm pretty sure it is possible. So yeah, on the app as well, you can select once you've paid in full. So the app functionalities, it's limited until you pay in full. Once you've paid in full, you'll see the functionality opens up a bit more. And that's when you can do things like select your embarkation time.
Which is quite good, because that's 4 months before we cruise. So that gives you enough time to do all the necessary things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So you've got time to, and I've got reminders to make sure, hey, to check in with everyone. Have you done your online check-in? Do you have questions? So.
And so if I'm not computer literate, can I call you and we can do that together? Or
yes, I think they've said, even though it's an app, I think they've said there's a magical way I can help without being there still on your phone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what a lot of my clients do is sometimes when their kids come over and just say, here, I need this app, and they'll get it through. It's quite simple if you're once you're in. So, but I'm here to help. So it's not
awesome. We've been on a couple of cruises and haven't felt the need to go to a specialty dining because the food's been amazing. So, don't feel like it's something you would have to budget for, because you would be totally happy with the regular dining. It is, one thing you can add to your trip if you choose. Yep. Now, just quickly, if you've got any more questions, get them in now, guys, because we're going to be winding this up soon. One more question is, what are the special diets like on board, e.g. gluten-free, dairy-free? Now, we do have a customer that cruises with us on each of our cruises, and she has high allergy issues. And I can say for a fact that she has, one, never complained about her meals, two, has a personal chef person guy come out every night to consult her about tomorrow night meals, and three, totally spoils her. I'm actually feeling like I'm a bit intolerant. I get really weak to every measure down. Her feel very accommodated. Yeah, she said she had absolutely no health issues and felt very, very well accommodated. Yeah, and I have an anaphylaxis allergy, and so all you need to do is mention it on your well, when you're booking with Bryony, should get a little information and make sure are you looking at Rave? I haven't talked to you. I won't be prawns on it. Yeah. But I had no trouble. I think there was like one night where there was something that I put in there and they just gave me something different and I didn't, because you get a couple of choices. So, and they just bought me something slightly different and it was fine. Yeah.
And like every night at dinner, what they generally do is they have a choice of 3 or 4 mains.
Yeah.
But then they also have like and this everything may have changed. But last time I was there, then they have ongoing. So every night you could get a steak, you can get a chicken breast or a roast of the day. So they have a couple of like standard meals, which are obviously good for people that have allergies, but there's always something. They'll never ever, like if someone goes hungry, I would be very shocked. Yes, I don't think I should be eating any more to the I could tell you the average weight gain. And I don't know how well the cruise, but the statistic I've always heard is it's a 5 kilo average weight gain.
I'm lucky here at Unwind, we like to maintain our figures.
You do a lot of steps on board.
You do, and we get logged to most of our things, and I lost a lot. And the reality is that there's a whole walking track up along on the top level of the boat that you can walk around. And fitness clubs, there is line dancing stuff. I didn't even really see active whereas non-active is like, but they're including that's what you need, drink gin. But the other real thing I just want to touch on, because we haven't yet, is the solo traveller. If you are a solo traveller, we love helping you find someone to share that room with. So do not let that stop you. We have a lovely story that we love to recount, that we had a cruise that actually didn't leave the shore. And we didn't know it was. Yep. So our November one, we had lovely people booked in. We did the information there anyway. And we had a couple of people that needed to be buddied up with someone to share a room with. And we do sort of do a little bit of a matchmaking. Yes. And then we invite them to make contact with each other and they'll go and have a coffee or something together. And then once they feel comfortable, they commute to that. And actually produce some really great close friendships. They actually didn't even get to go on the cruise as buddies, but it's still in real life. And they're going to be going on the cruise together. I don't actually finally get in. Well, that's what we're about. We're about making sure that connection that you make with that person. So Bryony will give us a message saying that somebody's looking for a partner and these are who's available, etc. And we will pair them up with who we think is the most suitable. And because we want the Unwind cruise experience to be about more than just having someone to hang out with while you're on board. We want it to be something that carries on after the cruise. We want friendships to make, which is why we don't, which I will just mention, it's why we don't run classes while we're on board. We're about not just relaxing and unwinding, but we're about that social connection. So we want to be able to sit and just chat with people for our step away, our meetups, and learn new stuff and share our ideas, because we're all a teacher. We're all teachers. So I don't need to organize a teacher to come on board because some Jane to see us down is going to know something and I don't know. So that's how the friendships just form, and it's amazing. So it's so lovely to watch. And so don't feel like if you are a solo traveller that you can't attend. We did, because it's always going to be someone to go to the theatre with or for a swim with.
And just on the solo, we've actually got people wanting a match. So please, definitely wait there, $450. Yeah, if you are looking for a buddy, reach out now. Because we've got people ready to be matched.
Yeah.
So we really want to make sure.
You have to feel like a little dating app.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. When- I feel like we're like perfect matches. Yeah, I love that. No, seriously, guys, if you are considering it, please get in touch with Bryony. There's a great low deposit at the moment. You've still got plenty of time, and she's very accommodating about the payment plan as long as it's paid off by a certain date. And we just have a blast. If not, if the New Zealand one seems too long for you, then January might be the perfect one around South Australia, and you don't need a passport for that one either, which is amazing. You'll still need to be COVID shotted, vaccinated. But it's just great. Like, we've made some great connections. I always had a ball every time, and watching people have a great time and come out of their shell and meeting you like young people has been really a big honour for us. And we don't like crowd together and like wide open. Myself and Robin will go separate ways. We do, thinks I talk too much. Yeah, I'm not sure better the fish munch down.
And I can tell you as well from meeting all of you, some of you on the phone, some of you here at our last session, like as an outsider to this, which I won't be there very long when I cover the cruise, and you're all going to get to know me, hopefully. But, the people that I'm speaking to are just lovely. And there are a lot of people that have never been to the Unwind Cafe that don't know people that are booked either to match up or they're booked to sing coven. So if you're not local, if you're not part of the community already, please take the chance because the women are lonely.
Really, I get goosebumps.
I know, we can actually even, if you know someone who might just need a little nudge, send them a link to the to this, or make a contact or bring for a coffee. So it's just nice to get a feel for the place, and there are those options here. Whereas if you just go to a travel agent, you're not going to get that feel of what that environment's going to be like to travel with other people. I highly recommend you. Just take the chance, make the contact, and we'll take the rest from there. And I will just say on a passing comment, an ending comment. I know that because I know that for my husband's not looking forward to it, and he's looking forward to going to New Zealand. He's not looking forward to being trapped on a boat in the middle of the ocean for 13 days. The one thing I will say to you, because I used to think like that as well, so I can't swim. I used to think like that as well. I didn't actually realize I was on a boat when we went on there last night. I very rarely felt the boat move. And I didn't even, after day one when we left port, I didn't really spend my time gazing out into the open sea. I was so busy just fluffing around. It was sitting in the piano bar, listening to Piano Man, playing bingo. So much entertainment on a ship. Even if you have a friend who doesn't like knit or crochet, they're still going to come and have a ball. Handball friends that didn't have crochet. That's also an option. We have had groups where only a couple of them knit or crochet, and they've come, and the only difference is they don't pay the little bit extra to get that little bag, and they don't come to the Unwind time. They just go off and do something else for an hour or two. And we believe that when I was for a wine or a gin else. It's all very inclusive. Dinner, And we've also had partners come, and my partner's coming on the New Zealand one because it is a long cruise. So, pounds coming. So, just make it whatever you want it to be. We're just here for that extra something to make you feel like you're included. Extra fun. So definitely get in touch with Bryony, guys. Go to Unwind at Sea on our webpage. Click the link. Let Bryony know that you're interested. She is amazingly easy and friendly to talk to and exceptionally over accommodating. So hit Bryony up about it. And do it before Monday because the deposit is stupid cheap. And then you're going to have that time to just pay it off. And final one more thing, but you have to say, Some of the cruises have up to $200 on board credit as well if you're booking by Monday.
So that's $200.
Yeah, $200. So that goes towards a restaurant. That's how it busted. Also, you can put it towards a specialty restaurant. Perfect. You can make your bingo, whatever you like. But $200 is huge.
So imagine $100 cash in your account. You've had people that have come and haven't actually spent another cent once they've gone on the ship. They you know, they might have on land, but you know, it covers so much of the actual ship, especially once you've got your Wi-Fi, your drinks package there, and literally not much else you really need. Yeah, because the shops on board have sales as well, and which seems ridiculous. And they have sales on board, but like I got some perfume on sale on one of the perfume sale days. And I was like, and as well, just quickly, this is so exciting. Last cruise we went on, you could go and purchase like a little bracelet, and then each day if you went to the jewelry shop and at a certain time they gave you the little charm. It was cute. Yeah. So like last time I was getting one, and one of our customers who didn't want one got one, and we would go and collect them for my children. You've been with the girls, that's right. And they break down, and it was beautiful. That's the bottom. It was really good quality. So, like, you know, just little things like that. No, amazing, Harry. Sounds of fun thing. Yeah, I couldn't click a video or not until we could done. Just have a perusing. Thank you, Brian. Winning the next. We'll be hoping that your phone's going to be ringing like crazy. We are wanting to get at least 4 more people on the cruise so that the beautiful Bryony can join us. Yep. So now's the time, guys. Book in so that Bryony can come with us. But the more the merrier, really. It's going to be a great cruise. So go to Unwind at Sea, check the link, fill out the form, and Bryony will be in touch. I think that's about it. Bye.